Hey everyone, welcome back to Sacred Cards, and today I'm going to share with you an update to my Earth Machine deck profile. This deck is really innovative with many different lines of play, it has cool combos, and can make some big XYZ monsters. I'm constantly messing around with the ratios, so stay tuned for future updates. Also, please be sure to check out the other profiles and content on my channel. I'm trying to post as often as possible, and I really appreciate all the support I've been given so far. So, with all that said, I'll go through my Earth Machine list and try and explain the cards as best I can. Let's get into the deck profile. First off, for the Infinitrack lineup, I played 3 copies of Infinitrack Harvester. One of the best starters in the deck. When it is normal or special summoned, you can search an Infinitrack monster from your deck to hand. You can also target another monster you control, then each of them comes the combined levels of the 2 monsters you selected, making it easy to go into XYZ plays. For extenders, I play 2 copies of Infinitrack Trencher and 1 copy of Brutal Dozer. Trencher, contribute an Earth Machine to special summon this card from the hand, and you can banish it from the graveyard to special summon a level 5 or lower Infinitrack from your graveyard. Brutal Dozer, contribute an Earth Machine monster to special summon itself from the hand, and if you do, you can summon another Infinitrack monster from your deck. It does lock you into Earth Machines, so you gotta keep that in mind. A new addition to the deck from Cyberstorm Access is 1 copy of Infinitrack Roadroller, 1 copy of Tunneler, and 1 copy of Anchor Drill. With Roadroller, if an Earth Machine is tributed or banished, you can special summon it from the hand or graveyard. When you use this card as XYZ material, it changes all monsters your opponent controls to defense position and reduces their defense by 1,000. Tunneler, contribute an Earth Machine to special summon itself, but the main effect is to banish itself from the graveyard, shuffle back 5 monsters, and draw 2 cards. When Anchor Drill is normal or special summon, it can summon an Earth Machine from your hand in defense position. Similar to Harvester, you can combine the levels of another monster you control and each become that level to help you make XYZ plays. Last card in the Infinitrack lineup is 1 copy of Ancient Gearbox. Gearbox is the 1 card you don't really want to see in your opening hand. You want to search this with your copy of Ancient Gear Ballista in the extra deck. When it is added to your hand, you can add an Infinitrack monster with 500 defense from deck to hand, usually to add a copy of Tunneler, Trencher, or Anchor Drill. Next is the Machina lineup, starting with 3 copies of Machina Gear Frame. Another one of your main starters in the deck. When this card is normal summoned, you can add 1 Machina card from your deck to hand. My main target for Gear Frame is 1 copy of Machina Unclassed Spare. When Unclassed Spare is added to your hand except by drawing, it can special summon itself, and when it is normal or special summoned, you can send 1 Machina monster from your deck to the graveyard. For the big boss machines in the Machina lineup, I play 1 copy of Machina Fortress, 1 copy of Citadel, and 1 copy of Ruin Force. All of these cards can be special summoned from the graveyard. Machina Fortress can discard machine monsters whose levels equal 8 or more, including itself, to special summon it from the hand or graveyard. If it is destroyed by battle, you can destroy a card your opponent controls, and if it is targeted, you can look at your opponent's hand and discard 1 card. Machina Citadel is a level 10 monster that must be special summoned by card effect. If an Earth Machine is destroyed, you can special summon it from the graveyard. When it is on the field, quick effect, you can destroy a machine monster you control, and all monsters on your opponent's side of the field with equal or less attack than your monster. Machina Ruin Force is another level 10 monster that can special itself from the graveyard by banishing monsters whose levels equal 12 or more. When your opponent activates a card effect during the battle phase, you can cut your life points in half to negate it, and if you do, cut your opponent's life points in half. With 4,600 attack, this card hits very hard. Next up is a small train package in one heavy freight train derrick crane and one Super Express bullet train. Good for making rank 10 plays. With derrick crane, if an Earth Machine is summoned, you can special summon this card from your hand but have its attack and defense. When it is detached from an Xyz monster, you can destroy a card your opponent controls. Bullet Train can be special summoned if you only control Earth Machines, so very easy to get out, and if it's sent to the graveyard that turn, you can target a machine monster back in your graveyard and add it back to your hand. The last Earth Machine I play is a newly acquired one copy of Therion King Regulus. This is a great addition to the deck because you can target a machine in the graveyard to special summon this card from the hand and equip that monster to this card. Then when your opponent activates a card or effect, you can send this card from your field to the graveyard to negate that effect. Last of the monsters, I play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Just an all-around good card to interrupt your opponent's plays. Now that is it for the monsters. Now on to the spells. Starting off with 3 copies of Heavy Forward. This card will add you any Infinitrack monster from your deck to hand, and it can attach itself to an Xyz monster as material or change its battle position. 3 copies of Machina Redeployment. You can discard 1 card to add 2 Machina monsters from your deck to hand, but if you discard a Machina card, you can add any 2 Machina cards from deck to hand, including the trap card Overdrive. Next is 2 copies of Urgent Schedule. I think 2 copies is fine, but I'm actually looking to get a 3rd copy, but my OTS store doesn't seem to have any. It's a good card going second. If your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower and 1 level 5 or higher Earth Machine monster from your deck in defense position. And if this set card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add a level 10 machine monster from your deck to hand. Next, I play 3 copies of Forbidden Chalice. This card can negate an effect of a monster on your opponent's side of the field. Alternatively, you can use it on your own monster to boost its attack during the battle phase. And the last spell card I play is 1 copy of Called by the Grave. Just to stop your opponent's hand traps or graveyard effects and help your plays go through. Just an all-around good card to have available. Now for the traps, I run 2 copies of Machina Overdrive. This card does so much for the deck. You can target a machine monster you control, special summon a Machina monster from your hand or deck, then destroy the targeted monster. Great for triggering your copy of Citadel in the graveyard or getting it out onto the field from the deck. You can also banish this card from the graveyard to target 3 machines in the grave and or banish pile, recycle them back to the deck, and draw 1 card. Last cards in the main deck, 2 copies of Torrential Tribute and 1 copy of Skill Drain. Torrential Tribute is another card to wipe the board of all monsters on the field and can trigger your monster's destruction effects. A well-timed Torrential Tribute can really disrupt your opponent. Skill Drain as a one-of is really powerful in this deck because you play so many big monsters that can sometimes benefit from having their effects negated and can stun your opponent if used correctly. Now that is it for the main deck. Onto the extra deck. Starting off with your Link 1, 3 copies of Infinitrack Goliath. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target an Xyz monster you control and attach this card as material. When it is being used as material, that monster cannot be destroyed by card effects. You can make these during your main combo and recycle them back with your copy of Tunneler. Next is 1 copy of Ancient Gear Ballista and 1 copy of Double-Headed Anger Knuckle. Ballista will search your copy of Ancient Gearbox from deck, which then gets you another search. It can also destroy a spell trap you control, and if you do, change the attack of a monster your opponent controls to 0. Anger Knuckle during the main phase can quick effect, send a monster from your hand or field to the graveyard, target a level 10 machine in the graveyard, and special summon it in defense position. I only play one because if it's in the graveyard, you can send a card from your hand or field to the graveyard to special summon this card. Last of the Link monsters, I play one copy of Platinum Gadget and one copy of Clifford Genius. Platinum Gadget can special summon a level 4 or lower machine monster from your hand to a zone it points to. Clifford Genius is unaffected by spells, traps, and the activated effects of other Link monsters. You can target 2 monsters, one of yours and one of your opponents. They both have their effects negated. Usually I will pair this with my copies of Urgent Schedule, because when 2 monsters are special summoned to its Link arrows at the same time, you can add a level 5 or higher machine monster from deck to hand. Now for the Xyz monsters. Starting off with one copy of Gear Gigan X and one copy of Infinitrack Riverstormer. Gear X is a rank 4 that can detach a material to add a level 4 or lower machine monster from deck to hand, from your deck or graveyard to your hand rather. Riverstormer is a rank 5 that can detach a material to add any earth machine from your deck, so it can basically search any card you need. If it's in your graveyard, you contribute a machine link monster to special summon it back in defense position. Also, if it does happen to destroy a monster by battle, you can attach that card as material. For the rank 9s, I play one copy of Infinitrack Earthslicer and one copy of Phantom Fortress Enter Blathmir. Earthslicer can detach any amount of materials to destroy that many cards on the field. Like Riverstormer, you contribute a machine link monster to special summon it back from the graveyard. As well, if it destroys a monster by battle, you can attach that card to it as material. Enter Blathmir can detach a material to either banish a card your opponent controls, banish a random card in your opponent's hand, banish a card in their graveyard, or banish the top card of their deck face up. Now for the rank 10s, I play one copy of number 81, Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Superdora, one copy of Gustav Max, and one copy of Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Juggernaut Liebe. Superdora can quick effect detach a material to target a card on the field and make it unaffected by card effects. Gustav Max can detach a material to burn your opponent for 2,000 life points. And Juggernaut Liebe can be Xyz summoned by using a rank 10 machine monster as material. This card can make attacks on monsters up to the number of materials it has plus 1, so it's great for running over your opponent's board. If you detach a material, you can increase its attack and defense to 6,000, but if you do, only he can attack, so that's something to keep in mind. And finally, the last card in the extra deck is one copy of AA Zeus. If an Xyz monster battled this turn, you can stack this card on top of its materials. Then quick effect, you can detach 2 materials and send all other cards on the field to the graveyard. If another card you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can attach a card from your hand, deck, or extra deck as material. Well, that is it for the deck profile. I really hope you enjoyed it. And if there's anything you like or don't like, feel free to leave me a comment telling me what you think. Be sure to like the video if you did, and subscribe for more content. Thank you for your support. Have a great day.